Bibi appears so consumed by spying storms in the US that Israel is left reeling from fresh violence at home. Deadly shooting incidents have rocked Israel during a pause in Iran's retaliatory strikes. One person was killed and 5 others were wounded in a suspected terror attack, and the shooter was neutralized. Israel remains on high alert as Netanyahu monitors the deadly shooting attacks. Hamas has reacted to the deadly shootings, adding to tensions as questions swirl over Gaza. One person was killed and 5 others were injured in a shooting attack in Israel on June 7. Reuters reported, citing Israel's ambulance service, that the attack took place in central Israel. Reuters said the suspected terror incident was reported near the occupied West Bank. Israeli police said the suspected shooter was neutralized, according to Reuters. Police added that large forces remain at the scene and searches are continuing. A 35-year-old man died of gunshot wounds, while 5 others were wounded, Reuters reported. 2 of the injured were in serious condition, Reuters said, citing the ambulance service. According to Reuters, the shootings took place in 3 separate areas in central Israel. Notably, Hamas praised the shooting but did not claim responsibility for the attack. Meanwhile, Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu said he had conducted a security assessment. Netanyahu added that he was monitoring what he described as the deadly shooting attack, Reuters reported. The Pentagon has reportedly grown increasingly concerned about Israeli espionage efforts inside the United States. Israel is said to have gathered intelligence on senior figures in the Trump administration. The targeted officials were reportedly directly involved in shaping U.S. policy on Iran. According to reports, Israel allegedly targeted Steve Witkoff and senior Pentagon officials. Top Pentagon officials Elbridge Colby and Michael Domino were among those reportedly targeted. Israel reportedly sought to learn Washington's position in negotiations with Tehran. I-24 News citing New York Times reported, and I quote, "Some officials may have been especially exposed because they used private planes, discussed sensitive business on personal phones and at times declined embassy support abroad." Unquote. The new disclosure follows an earlier NBC report on alleged Israeli espionage efforts in the United States. Notably, Israel's embassy in Washington denied spying, while the White House rejected the earlier report. US-Israel tensions deepened after NBC reported new Pentagon concerns regarding alleged Israeli intelligence activities. NBC cited current and former U.S. officials who said those concerns emerged within the U.S. government in recent weeks. The report said the Defense Intelligence Agency raised Israel's threat level assessment to critical in an internal review. Officials told NBC the assessment reflected concerns over what they described as aggressive Israeli intelligence activity. The concerns reportedly centered on efforts to learn more about President Trump's plans and strategy for the Middle East. NBC said U.S. officials believed Israel was seeking greater insight into internal policy discussions and deliberations. The internal assessment was said to include concerns about both human intelligence and technical espionage risks. Israel's embassy in Washington rejected the claims and described the allegations as completely false. Israeli embassy spokesperson said, and I quote, "Israel does not gather intelligence on American entities, let alone U.S. government officials. Israel intelligence collection efforts aimed at its enemies, not its allies. Any claims to the contrary are either misinformed or politically motivated." Unquote. The White House also pushed back against the report, saying it was based on information it considered inaccurate. The Pentagon declined to comment publicly, while the Office of the Director of National Intelligence did not address the report. NBC said U.S. officials viewed the alleged activity as extending beyond what is typically expected between allied nations. The report surfaced as Trump and Netanyahu remained at odds over how to handle the future of the Iran conflict. Trump has continued to pursue diplomatic engagement with Tehran, while Israel has favored a more hardline approach. The report followed a recent heated phone call between Trump and Netanyahu regarding Israeli strikes in Lebanon. NBC had previously reported that Trump expressed frustration with Israel's military actions during recent discussions. Trump later confirmed that he had referred to Netanyahu as crazy during the sharp exchange. A rare public disagreement has exposed growing tensions between two of the closest allies in the Middle East. Trump acknowledged using the controversial remark during a heated conversation with the Israeli leader. The US president indicated that Israel's ongoing campaign in Lebanon had become a major source of frustration. The remarks were made publicly during a podcast interview, turning a private dispute into an international headline. Donald Trump said, and I quote, "I was a little bit perturbed at his constantly fighting with Lebanon. At some point I said, we got to stop this. We got to stop it." Unquote. Reports suggest Trump personally pushed for restraint, warning against actions that could further inflame the region. Even after the sharp exchange, Trump emphasized that his relationship with Netanyahu remains strong and intact.
$25 करोड़ गरीब गरीबी को परास्त करके बाहर निकले।
For the good of our nation, let's work together and let's truly make America great again.
The fastest news breaks.
Requested PM saying that we will have to speak to Putin and to Zelensky.
The biggest newsmakers.
The relationship with India is probably the most important bilateral relationship the US will have for the rest of this century.
The capital delivered quite an election result today.
Expert analysis.
The million-dollar question today is how to stop this dance of death.
Ground reports.
I'm standing at the crossroad of the Kumbh Mela. Behind me are more than 100 entry guards.
Long-form interviews.
Exclusionary politics is reflected in Manipur case as well. You don't bother because this is a small state.
Deep dive into burning issues.
It's often said DRC could be the richest country in the whole world. It's because of what sits underneath.
Why exactly did the US topple the Sheikh Hasina government?
HD videos. We don't just break news, we break it down.